Hey everybody, and welcome to today's News Tonight, the weeknight news show where we're joined by special guests and our lovely patrons to discuss the day's gaming news. I'm your host, Ash Paulson, and I'm joined, as always, by my good friends and GVG co-founders, Derek Bittner and Steve Bowling, as well as our very special returning guest, Andrew from Beta64.
Hello.
Andrew, man, how's it going?
Going pretty well. I'm glad to be back talking about video games and video game-like things, as we do.
Hell yeah. We're happy to have you back talking about video games and video game-like things.
Yeah, that should be the channel's slogan from now on.
You can take it. It's free. It's free.
Nice.
Perfect.
Nice.
Thanks.
Well, we do have a lot to talk about today between Indie World and a bunch of other news stories that have dropped since our last episode. But before we get too far into that, we do have a sponsor for today's episode, and that is, of course, Chip Damage Mike, who says, "Hi, my name is Mike, and I win all my fighting games via chip damage. I am also plagued by being interested in too many things. Movies, comics, manga, anime, video games, toys, and all nerd culture have their hooks firmly embedded into my brain, and I just want to talk about it. Over on my channel, Chip Damage Mike, we look at rare, weird, and valuable games on all platforms, ranging from oddities like the Neo Geo Pocket to the big ones like the PlayStation 4. I'll also be going over toy releases from companies like First4, Figma, and Kotobukiya, as well as discussions on where to start on big franchises like Yakuza and Final Fantasy. I want this channel to be a positive force where enthusiasts and collectors come together over their shared love of nerd media and culture. So get hype and please click on over and subscribe to Chip Damage Mike on YouTube, and let's have some fun." Now, you guys in our audience have been great about upping Chip Damage Mike's sub numbers. Let's keep pumping that number up. Right now, they just released a video on rare Xbox 360 games, as well as a review of Kotobukiya's figure of Hiei from Yu Yu Hakusho. So,
Good choice.
Great stuff all around. Yeah, great stuff on Chip Damage Mike's YouTube channel. So please go over there, check it out, subscribe, and let's see that number continue to rise. So thank you once again, Chip Damage Mike, for your generous contributions to our channel. We love and appreciate you so much. With that said, guys, there was an Indie World presentation this morning that we should probably chat about before we get into the news proper. So Andrew, let's go ahead and start with you because, I already chatted. We reacted to Indie World this morning together. I already chatted with these guys about it. They're old hat. I want to get you. Your reactions.
Oh
Yeah.
boy,
You're
this is a big one.
already replacing us, so you can have this channel. I'll take Beta64, I guess.
I mean, actually, sure, why not? We'll make it a deal.
There we go.
Well, I love indie games. I absolutely adore indie games. I love the concept of them. Just a small group of people making a big splash. Maybe the way the indie world works, it's like, I don't know, it can be hard to get in. So when I watch these, I like to see if I can get something new, something fresh. And of that, the first thing that caught my eye was the Road 96 game.
Oh yeah,
that one looks so interesting to me.
It does.
Just with the brain, because branching pathways have happened before, but this seemed like, what did it say? How many choices? 140 something thousand different options.
Something like that. It's crazy, and it kind of reminded me of a Telltale game almost, except that it's sort of committed. Like it wasn't one of those things like Telltale you'll have some differences here and there, but you're still guided along the same storyline, essentially. This looks like it just branches wildly compared to that. I know. And it made it intriguing.
Yeah.
I was very curious about that one.
It definitely looked interesting. I got Telltale vibes from it. The whole vibe of it seemed very interesting. At first, I was kind of getting Life is Strange-ish vibes from it, but then it kind of switched halfway through to something a little different. And yeah, no, I think it's looking really interesting. Although I have to say, I think the first game that really stood out to me was the game we found out about after it, which was Never Yield, is Aerial Knights Never Yield, which is I guess a rhythm-inspired free runner 2D.
It was like Bit Trip Beat, but what was it? Neo Detroit was what the setting was.
Yeah,
something like that.
And the music, the soundtrack was done by a Detroit-based musician, which is really cool. So,
I think they said it was poppin'. I think that was what they said.
Yes.
I believe so, if I can remember correctly.
Yeah. I can't remember. I didn't get a chance to check out the demo that they released, but
I haven't.
Yeah, that's right. It came today.
Check it out
didn't it?
tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I might even stream it tonight in our Discord, maybe just to kind of a casual stream to check it out. So, but I do want to check that out. There was a lot of cool stuff, I'm actually showing off this morning.
kind of curious, Andrew, what you thought of The Longing.
Dude, okay. No, I was getting to that right next. Oh my gosh, I love it.
You actually love it. Oh,
I
God.
love the concept of
Really?
400 real days worth of just nothing. But I'm sure there's something
That gives me anxiety.
Yeah.
It's like
just-
Terraria or Animal Crossing, but there's an end and you're just all alone. It could be good and it could be crap. I don't know. I can guarantee you it will be something, and it'll be something memorable and worth getting. I love that kind of stuff. I suppose. What would you think? I'm curious.
I mean, I don't hate the concept, but it's also one of those things like, oh God, 400 real-time hours, and apparently it counts down even when you're not playing. So
yeah,
you step away for a while and you come back, and I don't know what happens if it goes to like day 401 and you get back to the game. Is the guy dead or who knows?
I don't know.
It's very odd.
I wonder if it's one of those games that makes you feel guilty, like I know Animal Crossing doesn't really do that anymore. It's kind of shied away from that more recently, but the way Animal Crossing used to be, where if you don't come back for a while and you come back after that 400th day, if the game just has whatever story developments to make you feel guilty about not being there to see whatever happens.
That I wouldn't like, because I hate the feeling of like, oh man, I have to play this game every day for 400 days. I want it to be something where it's like, I forget the game exists, I come back and there's still 100 days left, and like just I don't know. It's what makes me so just excited is just the fact that I have no idea what it could be doing. When most of these games that showed off at Indie World, I'm like, oh, I get that. A skateboarding game, you're skateboarding platforming. TMNT looks great. It's a beat 'em up. 400 days of doing nothing. Now, how can you make that exciting?
I mean,
That's
it is.
What I'm excited for.
It was a very lackadaisical trailer. I watched that guy climb the stairs, and it's just so slow. I'm like, oh
I
God.
know, right? It could be.
People in our reaction chat, though, a few people had some really nice things to say about it. Apparently, the game is reviewed very well on Steam.
Oh, it's already out? Oh, dude.
On Steam. So
why am I not playing it?
According to Awdoodle, has a 92% on Steam. So,
dude,
apparently it's doing
people
well.
Seem to like the game. I can't remember who it was. I apologize, but someone said that it really it deals with themes of loneliness in apparently a pretty respectful way. Or at least an effective way. Same here. Like, that sounds interesting to me. I just,
It doesn't sound
sorry.
400 days of gameplay interesting.
I love that one of its things is it's like bullet points is the walking speed is slow. Luckily, there's no need to hurry.
Right.
I love games that can like take difficult concepts and like loneliness, depression, or stuff like that, and do it in an engaging, respectful kind of way that makes you think. It's just like there's a lot of games out there, especially nowadays, that try to do that, and some do it better than others. So if it does this well, I'm interested. In fact, I'm just gonna buy it after. I'm just gonna straight up say I'm gonna buy it after this. I love Indie World. Yeah. It doesn't focus just on Switch. I like that it gives me insight into other indie games I have no idea about.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as we were talking about earlier today, Steve was the one who actually brought this up. Nintendo does it right in terms of highlighting the developers, the faces behind these games, without going the Xbox way, where they are interviewing developers for like 20 minutes and repeating the same 1 minute trailer.
Yeah.
It's like you get 30 seconds of intro from the developer. Hey, here's who I am. Here's my game. And then you get the trailer, and then you move on. And that's the way to do it.
You're going to know within the first couple minutes whether or not this is something you're going to be into.
Yeah.
It's judging a book by its cover, which kind of sucks, but it's like 20 minutes. You can fit a lot of games if you're doing it the Nintendo way. And that gives everyone a good chance of showing off their games to a potentially new audience.
Right. One of the more curious things we saw that we hadn't even really seen anything of prior to this morning was Forever, the House of the Dead remake, which Forever Entertainment's remake of that game, which, as we talked about this morning, visually on its face, it looks like it could be pretty faithful. But some of that, there's some weird stuff. Those sound effects and the font for like the reload message.
You said the font. Yeah. Thank goodness. I saw the font. I'm so. Yeah. It's just me. I look at a game and I see a font that I don't like. I'm like, this. I can't do it. I can't buy this game. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I'm not usually like that. But the font in this is so bad. And
Can we just talk about the font for a few minutes? Just the font. Oh.
It's bad.
Yeah.
It is.
I would say. I mentioned this during Indie World, but the font coupled with that god-awful gun sound effect that sounds like an actual pew-pew, I was like... and I said this to Ash and Derek, it looks like when a kid on TV is... like pretending to play a game and they have to put in some placeholder.
It really does.
House of the Dead looks like that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Who made this game? Who made it?
It's Forever Entertainment who did the Panzer Dragoon remake. So they get a hold of good properties. It doesn't seem like they do the best job actually remaking them.
Yeah, I remember a few episodes back I said that I don't care if it's them remaking Chrono Trigger as long as I get Chrono Trigger. I'm starting to have second thoughts on that.
As soon as you said that, I'm like, you know what? Because they're doing something with Square Enix. They're taking care of something, and who knows what that's going to be.
These properties?
That is a good question.
Could I get these properties?
I know.
Can you call me?
Maybe it's because they're middle of the road enough. Like, I mean, I know Panzer Dragoon Remake wasn't great, or maybe it wasn't even good, depending on who you ask, but it also wasn't an absolute out-and-out trash fire, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that's how they get by.
I mean, as long as the base game is good, I don't think they can screw it up that bad. But 13 remaster says hello.
Right. Yeah. Well, there are way too many games for us to cover here, but there is, of course, one more I need to bring up, and you already did bring it up, Andrew, and that is, of course, TMNT, Shredder's Revenge, which not only continues to look so fucking good, but now we found out today that T. Lopes is on the soundtrack, and my hype was already stratospheric. Now it is, I need an adult, I need help, I'm not okay.
Help. Seriously?
I'm
this is not a joke.
Okay. This is going to be such an amazing game, you guys. I mean, of course, we don't know. It could come out and maybe it's disappointing, but I highly doubt it, given the development pedigree, the publishing pedigree, and the fact that we got a brand new T-Lope soundtrack coming. I can't
and that it just looks amazing in motion.
It looks so good.
I heard someone say Turtles in Time in the reveal, and I was like, yes. I love Turtles in Time so much. I didn't even really watch TMNT growing up, but I still was a huge fan of Turtles in Time.
Oh, I was absorbed.
It's still such a great... Yeah, no, I was a TMNT, just absolute dork growing up, and still am. I've always loved the TMNT. Oh, yeah. And I love how we see, not only is it so superbly recreating the old 80s cartoons style, but it's so cool to see the return of that show's unique characters like Vernon. There's a scene where Bebop just picks up Vernon and runs away with him. I guess he's kidnapping him, and it's great. And I'm like, man, it's tickling every nostalgia funny bone I have, and I can't wait.
I'm excited. I'm so excited. The music. Yeah. I need to I was like, have they released a song yet, just in full that I can listen to?
Unfortunately, not.
Only the ones in the trailer. Dang. So we'd have to just watch the trailer over and over again. Which, hey, there are worse ways to spend your time.
Exactly.
Yeah, but we could talk about Indie World for much longer. But we do actually have a lot of news to get to today. So let's go ahead and get that first story up on screen. And this was posted in our Discord by a couple of people, Coop's Crib and It's ATM. And the PS5 has gotten its first major firmware update since launch. They're calling it the April update, which is apt considering it's April. And it's adding things like support for USB extended storage, cross-generation share play. There's an improved game-based menu, as well as smaller things like you can disable game chat quickly now, or I guess more quickly, adjust friend volume more easily during online game session. There's a new trophy setting screen. Yeah, this is cool. I haven't really gotten a chance to turn on my PS5 since this update dropped, so I haven't really scoped it out for myself yet, but have you guys at all checked it out yet?
Does everyone have a PS5 but me?
Yes.
Now we do,
yes. On this,
dang it.
Yeah. We've been hooked up since last time you were here.
I've not had a chance to really play a lot of PS5 games on it, but Amy's been really enjoying playing Final Fantasy 14 on it. I don't know if she'll actually get a chance to take advantage of all these new features. Honestly, the one that seems the most widespread is, something people maybe use quite a bit is the USB extended storage, which they do say is actually in their little blog post, how it's a faster way of getting your stuff back in, because where is it? The PS5 titles can't be played from the extended storage, and they also can't be directly downloaded to USB extended storage. However, games that you transfer or copy back to that will automatically update when applicable. And in addition, you can select the game modes, which game modes you want to install, such as campaign or multiplayer, for select titles that support the option. In addition, I think they said it's actually faster to put it onto the USB storage than just deleting it and reinstalling via the disk.
That depends. That really depends. So I checked out the update. I'm currently working on a review for a PS5 game that I can't disclose, so I've been spending a lot of time with the console this last week. And I just before the episode, I decided to dig around in the update and see what I could find. And there are definitely some things I really like about this. USB is kind of low on the list for me because it's highly dependent whether or not it is quicker to copy from a USB or re-download the game. If you have really fast internet, then you can download a game quicker than it takes to copy from a USB drive onto your PS5's SSD. I'm fortunate enough to have really fast download, but garbage upload. Which,
I feel that.
Yeah. Thanks, Cox. You're really living up to your name.
Dude, I got Cox too. Let's freaking go.
Oh, man.
We used to have Cox. It is the worst.
Yeah.
It's funny. I would say Spectrum sucks too, but I mean, I've heard much worse things about Cox than I ever have Spectrum, even though they can be a little spotty as well. So my heart goes out to you.
The internet is full of all kinds of terrible Cox. Anyway, I will say that the things I like in this update are that you can now subscribe to games similarly to the way you do on the Switch. So Sony puts like little news updates about games you've been playing or it believes you to be interested in. Now you have the control to say like, no, I don't want to hear about Crash 4, or whatever. So I like that. So I can control which games I see content for. They also have the ability now to determine which trophy levels auto record screenshots or video, which I think is really cool because I don't need a video clip of every silver trophy I get.
Same, man.
I disabled all of it.
Yeah,
nope, I turned it off. There's like no need for that to be there for me.
I switched it to just platinum because I don't get platinums all the time, and I'm like, I'd probably like to remember getting those trophies.
Well, my problem was this is a PS4 thing because I'm so sad I don't got a PS5. But I whenever I have it turned on to record things, but every time I get a trophy, I'm playing games that says, sorry, you can't record anything right now. So I don't even get them. All I get is a notification saying, sorry, sucks to be you.
What is worse than playing a game you love and finding out the developers have, for whatever reason, disabled video recording for that game?
I don't freaking know why.
Like, Smash Brothers is the biggest one of those for me.
About that.
I'm like, anytime I actually do something cool in Smash, I instinctively mash the record button. And it's like, just kidding. You're not good enough for that. I'm like, oh.
Sorry, you suck.
Yeah, you're not in global
the worst
Smash.
Part about... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I meant to say you're not in Elite Smash. You can't record video. Like, they just lock
You unlock that feature later.
Yeah. They're like, you have to be a certain level of good to record video, or else Sakurai will get you banned from Twitter.
Right. Like, I'm so used to I love the Switch's video recording feature because I'm so used to just doing something really cool in a game, say, like Mario 35, rest in peace, where I would just, hold it really quickly and I get that clip. And I've thought about that in Smash so many times when I make great plays, but then I always forget, I can't do that. And then I try to make a mental note in the middle of the match, like, okay, when you get to the results screen, make sure you save the replay. And like 85% of the time, I forget. And it's like the saddest feeling, the most crushing feeling when you realize, shit, I really wanted to save that match. So Smash really doesn't do that.
Is it some sort of performance thing?
It has to be.
Maybe.
It's got to be something like that.
It's either that or it's kind of their underhanded way of forcing people to post on Smash World or whatever that service is called.
Maybe.
Kind of like they want to route all Smash content through Smash World to the extent that they can, I guess. That could be it.
I don't know.
Like a very Nintendo
maybe it
thing.
dropped, if when you record it would cause a freeze in the gameplay that mess with things. This is all speculation. I don't freaking know.
Who knows?
It just sucks.
my guess would be that it carries the possibility of creating a frame drop or something, and
It could be.
it would result in negative PR for the game somehow.
Right. Well, before we move on to the next news story, I do also want to highlight that there are some new features that just came to the PlayStation app kind of in parallel to this new PS5 update. Now, I don't know if you guys use the PlayStation app at all, but I have, and I do, and it's actually really good. And the reviews in the App Store reflect that. So, but you can do things like you can manage your storage, your PS5 storage via the app now, which is pretty cool. You can join multiplayer sessions on PS5 from the app. So honestly, it's one of the better game publisher apps out there that I've ever used. So
I didn't know it was a thing, and I just assumed it was like the Switch app, and I just sort of nope.
No, it is not like the Switch app. It is 100 million billion % times better and more useful.
Definitely a really good app. I will say that if you have ever signed into someone else's console, though, it gets really weird really quick. Like, I get notifications all the time because when I was in Colorado, I signed into my friend's PS5. And then I came home and signed back into mine. But I get notifications every time my friend downloads a game on his console now. Oh, no. So it freaks me out sometimes because I get notifications for games I know I didn't buy, and it's like, thank you for purchasing Erica for PS4. I'm like, what the hell? I didn't do that.
I will say, I did not know that.
Other than that, it's a really good app, and I do like that it. I can manage stuff on the PlayStation. Like, I'll get a lot of codes for games. In this line of business, we get sent codes, and I'm usually busy, so I'll enter the code on my PlayStation app on my phone, and then by the time I'm ready to play, the game's already installed, and it'll let me know when the game's done installing.
See, that's
which
nice.
is really nice.
That's really nice.
Right.
Yeah, I wish that the Switch app had that. I wish I could redeem a code in the app
Does the
and that it would tell me
Xbox
when it's
app
ready.
have that?
It does.
Okay.
No, okay.
Yeah. Both of.
I had no
Sony and
idea that
Microsoft
these
have
other consoles had apps.
I thought there was a way
attention.
You could pre-download a game on the Switch, but maybe that was the Wii U for some reason. I'm thinking.
No, you can.
Okay, you can.
You can, yeah.
So
okay.
like with pre-orders,
just not through the app.
Yeah, with pre-orders they open it up for you to buy, and then it'll download like a week or so in advance usually, and then it'll just unlock. But yeah, you can't do it in the app. Whereas on both competing platforms, you can both buy the game in the app and download it.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Right. I really quick, I want to extend a congratulations to Dark B Andy in the chat, who says they managed to get their PS5 ordered today.
Oh,
congratulations! That's a big deal.
Tough.
Yeah,
that is really tough.
Andrew, if it helps you at all, the way my wife was able to secure mine was that she was following Wario64 on Twitter with notifications on, and it drove her crazy, but she was able to get one for the holidays.
How I did it.
Me. So yeah, so try that if you haven't.
Open up Twitter real quick.
There you go.
The one thing before we move off of this that I want to say is I desperately want Sony to introduce whatever the update is that enables us to expand the actual PS5 storage. Like the hardware.
Do you think that's gonna happen?
There.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Probably just going to have to require an SSD.
Yeah.
How fast? I'm curious how fast the storage of the PS4 or PS5 is.
So I know a little bit about that. I know that it is a PCIe Gen 4 SSD, and those, when the PS5 launched, weren't very commonplace because there weren't motherboards or CPUs in the computing space that supported them at the consumer level. And Intel just launched last week their latest processors, which do support the same type of SSD that's in the PS5, which means that manufacturers should be rolling those out like more frequently now. But I wonder if it's a software constraint or a hardware constraint. Like, I mean, Sony very clearly knew that these were coming, and they were able to secure their own for inside the PS5. Yeah. And I know that you can buy one that technically should work, but Sony hasn't released an official specification for which ones are supported. And it'll just tell you, like, your PS5 won't work. It'll say, hey, you've plugged something in there, and you're not supposed to do that yet. Take your PS5 apart and take it out.
Get that crap out of here.
Yeah, get that out of me. And so I'm interested to see, they said, like, hey, we're still working on it. It's coming later in this blog post, but I need later to be here now because I already own too many games for the PS5 that I'm already, like, having to shuffle games off. So I appreciate the USB thing, but I'd really like to be able to just throw some more money at this problem and put an actual SSD expansion in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is while this existing update is good for people with data caps, slower internet connections, that's definitely not turning my nose up the fact that this update is a thing, but it's not necessarily, well, it's not even true extended storage. It's not extended storage at all, really, if you can't run the game.
It's like having a storage shed. It's like having a storage shed with a bunch of boxes.
Right.
You can walk in and grab it in the back box all the way over there.
Yeah. and the many boxes in my closet can attest to the fact that I don't really find it worth it ever to go digging into boxes to find things I need.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. Well, we've talked about the PS5 updates for quite a while, so let's go ahead and move on to the next story where we switch to the Switch. And this story was posted in our server by Eddie Zacianland and Nerdtoad, and that is that this beautiful, gorgeous new Switch Lite, blue Switch Lite, is launching May 21st in the U.S. for $199.99. However, Europeans, you're lucky. You get it 2 weeks earlier on May 7th. Right?
So lucky.
Guys, I love this. It's beautiful. It's actually gorgeous, and it's making me want to Switch Lite, even though I literally have no need for one.
I know,
Don't
right?
need one. Yeah.
Let me ask you guys. I'm curious. Has anyone talked about if the lights have drift, Joy-Con drift?
I'm sure it's been talked about, but I don't know what
I haven't seen, because like the big thing when it was talked about was like, oh, if it has drift, you got to send the whole console instead of just getting a new controller, sending in one controller and then getting it back. I didn't know if that was still like a thing or if...
I've seen reports of Joy-Con drift in the Lite before, and it makes sense because we dug into this issue, I want to say, on one of the very first episodes of TNT, because people started reporting stick drift on the PS5, and it came out that the PS5, the Xbox, and the Nintendo Switch all use the exact same component for their analog sticks, just with a different rubber cap stuck on top. And that's true of the Switch Lite as well. It uses the exact same part as what's in standard Joy-Con, but for whatever reason, there are far fewer reports of drift happening in that. Yeah, it's very weird.
Maybe few people actually, own the Switch Lite.
Yeah, well,
it
might also be true that the Switch Lite is in the hands of kids a lot more, and parents, are just like, yeah, my kid broke it, so what?
Right.
I will be the first to admit that if my kid was like, my analog stick doesn't work, I'd be like, what did you do to it?
Yeah.
It's and the more I'm looking it up, the more I'm seeing that there are people saying definitely that the Switch Lite can drift. And now that I'm seeing that, I'm remembering that that's like it's a thing. I don't know how widespread it is, but it certainly.
Did I ever say? I forget if I even mentioned it like online or anything, but my PS3 controller started drifting.
Really?
Oh wow!
Oh, did it?
PS3 controller drift, PS4, Switch. What's happening? It's a virus. It's like the Switch infected all of my consoles.
I've been very lucky. The only controller I've had suffer from drift was my modded pair of Joy-Con, which basically the left one doesn't even work anymore. I'm guessing because it was modded, it just that kind of shortened its life. But my official Neon Joy-Con still don't drift amazingly. So. And neither does my Pro controller, which I've had since launch. So I've
borderline
been quite
random.
Yeah,
it really does.
Yeah.
I mean,
so,
I guess
I've just been lucky.
With you, Ash, I haven't had any Joy-Con drift or controller drift of any kind. And
5.
I think I'm just lucky.
Oh my god.
Dang.
5 Joy-Cons drifted.
Jesus,
I sent
man.
them all away.
That
Now there's only
sucks.
one that drifts.
That's an improvement. That's an 80% improvement.
And it was free, and it's like, I mean, I'm not super gonna complain because it's like I had so many Joy-Cons, I just played with another 2 while the other 5 went away. So
Yeah, exactly.
But with the Switch Lite, going back to the Switch Lite, that's not exactly as easy of a solution. Which is the only reason why I'm like, I mean that, and also because I have a Switch and I don't need another Switch. It's the only reason that I'm like, I don't know if I need it, but I love how it looks.
I have a Switch and a
Very
Switch
pretty.
Lite, and I still want a blue Switch Lite. Like this thing, this is pretty. I like this. This is objectively
really pretty.
better
It's gorgeous.
than the design of the standalone Switch that we all have, right? I wish that if this could dock, I wouldn't have any other version.
Yeah.
But that blue is so gorgeous, and I know people are saying it's purple. It's not purple. It's blue.
That's not purple at all.
It's not purple.
Put that
No, it's
picture
definitely blue.
next to a picture of a GameCube, and you'll very quickly realize it's blue.
Yeah. I don't know whether I like this or the teal one more. I love them both. I think they're both just absolutely gorgeous pieces of tech. And again, I don't need a second Switch. Literally no use for it in my life, but I want this just to look at it and hold it.
I'm not as seduced by this. I mean, it's very pretty, but I have no nope, I don't need this. I'm like, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
But I have no need for a Switch Lite. Yeah. I have no inclination to just pick up an extra one. It's very pretty. I guess it's kind of smart to release a new Switch Lite alongside Miitopia for anybody who's going to buy that game. But I mean, it's like cool. Yeah. I like it, but I'm not going to get it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, wow, very nice.
I'm lusting after it, but I'm not actually going to.
I'm just lusting, guys. No big deal.
Because I don't need it. Yeah. So, that comes out, as you said, Derek, separately alongside Miitopia on the same day, the Switch version of Miitopia, that's certainly exciting. And whoever is down on Wilshire Boulevard revving their car really loudly, I wish they'd stop. That's so annoying. Okay, well. Let's go ahead and move on to our next story, which takes us back into the PlayStation sphere of things in a way. And this was posted in our server by Topaz, and the latest character to be coming to Fortnite, which seems to be just letting everybody, so many weird different characters from so many different places, is Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn, which is cool. I love Aloy. But this also means that she is the second PlayStation character now to, in a way, appear on Switch, the first, of course, being Kratos. Who's also in Fortnite. And do you even know what Fortnite is anymore? Like, the
thing is, they're just skins. They're not. It's not like Smash Brothers where they're all unique. It's just skins. But... it's cool. It's certainly cool, and it makes sense. Target those kids. They're like, who's Aloy? What's that all about? Oh, I should check that out.
Yeah,
right.
It really
I don't hate Fortnite, but I also don't want to play it.
I love
Fortnite's
Save the World mode, which gets absolutely zero love from Epic whatsoever.
Dude, I remember when they announced Fortnite and it was just Save the World. And it was like at this Apple presentation, they were like, Epic Games is announcing they're bringing Unreal Engine to Max, as well as this game called Fortnite. And now look, I had no idea.
I wish Epic remembered how supportive I was of Fortnite when they showed it to me at E3 and it was not popular at all. Like they were like, we got this game, it's tower defense.
Why aren't you in Fortnite?
Yeah, put me in Fortnite.
Right?
Damn it. I played Save the World. I played Fortnite when it cost money. I just want to point
That's
that
incredible.
Out. Yeah. I practically paid to play Fortnite, god damn it.
Who knew taking the idea from PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds would work out so well for them?
And it did. Yep. And look where we are now.
Yeah, we've got
I have to ask, I don't know if you guys have talked about this already. Just getting an opinion out here. Do you think Peter Griffin's coming to Fortnite? Because I have a bet that if he comes to Fortnite, then I have to play it. And I don't want to play it.
I don't think he is. I don't think
you really.
I don't know, but I could see it. Like I don't think any character's off the table, honestly.
I think Fortnite has waned enough, or I think not Fortnite. I think Family Guy has waned enough in popularity to where he wouldn't necessarily like. They're getting whoever they want almost.
They can really get just whoever. It's crazy.
I mean, it would make more sense for them to go for Rick and Morty, unless they're already in the game, which maybe they are.
Yeah,
Morty, we're in Fortnite. Morty.
I don't think they'll ever get Nintendo characters though.
No, Nintendo's too.
Probably not.
Right, yeah. Nintendo's too. Well,
people were hoping for Samus.
I think that's tough.
Samus was in like Bayonetta. No, not Bayonetta. Some other
there was a Samus costume.
No, okay.
Yeah,
there was right.
But
there
Fortnite,
was Daisy, Link.
Yeah, I think there were a lot of.
Like, oh yeah, that was that. And then there was like Fatal Frame. I think also had something.
Oh yeah, there was a Zero Suit Samus. I did a video on that for GX. There was a Zero Suit Samus costume in for the main character in Fatal Frame, Maiden of Blackwater. Right.
So like, it's not impossible, but both of those companies are like Japanese-based companies who made those games, and this is Fortnite.
I gotta say, like,
Fortnite.
No disrespect to Fortnite, or I'm sure there are plenty of Fortnite players who would like to see Nintendo characters in the game, and if that happens, great. But I also don't really want to see Nintendo characters in what I feel is this god awful art style. Just like I don't really like seeing Aloy in this art style, because I think she deserves better. And it reminds me of like off-brand Disney Infinity or something.
It does kind of, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm more scared of Samus style, like default dancing or something.
The thing,
right?
That's what I'm mostly scared.
I think the reason we won't see Nintendo characters is that you don't need help marketing Nintendo characters to Fortnite's existing demographic. They're already, if they're going to play a Nintendo game, they've already been force-fed tons of ads for it. So I think that this works better for more mature characters like Master Chief, Kratos, now Aloy, to introduce a younger generation of gamers to those characters.
But Samus is technically designed for the older audience.
I agree, but I think Nintendo doesn't give enough of a shit.
I know that was the next point I was making, but I don't think Nintendo cares.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. Nintendo doesn't have any interest in promoting Metroid to that audience or to their core audience. It seems.
Or promoting Metroid
to any audience.
Yeah.
Metroid Battle Royale. Nintendo's going to make their own.
Chat. Doodle in the chat says something I never thought I'd read, which is Peter Griffin is like the Xing Long of Fortnite. That, you're not necessarily wrong about that. It's a really weird way to put it, but you're not wrong. So it's cool that Aloy's in the game. There is, of course, PlayStation. If you're playing the game on PS5, there is unique content, as there should be. If you play it on PS5, players will unlock the Ice Hunter Aloy style, which is based on the Banuk Ice Hunter outfit from Horizon Zero Dawn. There's also and I don't think this is exclusive, but there is a new Heart Ryzen emote, which sounds like our local Azran 127 designed it because of that great pun there. So, yeah, it's cool. I don't play Fortnite. I probably won't. But seeing Aloy and other things is cool. I just wish it wasn't in this art style. But, such as it is, right?
Agree.
If anything, this points out how big of a character that Aloy's become.
True.
Yeah,
it's true. Sony ship it out. It's like it wasn't not Ratchet in there. No, it's Aloy from Horizon.
They only picked the best for Fortnite.
Yeah,
only the best.
I mean, they got Kratos, so
they got
yeah.
Sure.
Well, if you thought this was the craziest crossover we were going to talk about today, think again, because our next news story is even wilder. So let's go ahead and get that up on screen. And that is that Ryu and Chun-Li are coming to Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, and they look like legit Power Ranger versions of Ryu and Chun-Li, which I never thought I'd needed or wanted. Maybe I still don't need it, but it's really cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, and it's on Stadia. Thank goodness.
Yeah, thank goodness. I watched the trailer. I mean, they got Kyle Hebert in there to do his lines, and it's they created a brand new Power Rangers outfit for him, which is definitely...
They did not.
They did not.
Believe it or not, I dug into this because when I was a kid,
I know where you're going with this.
I loved Power Rangers. Like, I was obsessed, and I was like, how would I miss Ryu becoming a Power Ranger? This couldn't have been... And it turns out that Ryu was made a Power Ranger in the comics, like, years ago.
Really?
So Ryu as a Power Ranger is a canonical thing that already existed in the Power Rangers universe. And
Chun-Li as well, right?
Yeah. Ryu and Chun-Li both were given morphers and inducted into the Power Rangers. Ryu is classified as a Gold Ranger, which is like a traditionally one of the 6 Power Rangers.
Yeah, it's like the extra Power Ranger, the super powerful one type thing.
Interesting.
Yeah, and the gameplay trailer. My God, I've played Battle for the Grid, and I thought it was kind of interesting, but this is like a whole other level.
It feels like they've been improving it gradually over time, so it's pretty cool.
I'm not a Power Rangers guy at all, but I'm watching this trailer, and I'm like, this looks pretty damn sick. And Ryu looks... I'm not even like a big Ryu fan. I more prefer Ken and some other Street Fighter characters, but he looks really cool in this, and this game looks like it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it really does. I've played the fighting game. I thought it had some good core fundamentals to it from a mechanics perspective, but even though I like Power Rangers, I have a lot of nostalgia for it. It just didn't grab me and keep my interest. But with this, I'll come back and play the hell out of this. I mean,
that's all it took. That's all it took.
You put Marvel vs. Capcom style Ryu in any fighting game, and I'll play it.
Yeah,
and he has.
It's too bad the trailer doesn't show Chun-Li much, though.
Yeah, I think Chun-Li's probably a ways off, but I really like that Ryu has some kind of... that's the other thing. His moveset in this game is also canonical to the Power Rangers universe, which is just ridiculous.
Really?
Cool.
Yeah,
That's
so
cool.
he has he has a lot of his traditional Street Fighter moves, but he has this they call it the Falcon Hadoken. And you see it in the trailer. He throws a Hadoken at someone that is red and very odd looking, and it like bounces them off the wall back at him so he can continue his combo, which is really cool too. But apparently in the comics, he mixes like the powers he gets from the Power Rangers morpher and his special moves to create new techniques that he uses in the Power Rangers universe. So it's really cool the level of detail that went into this.
Wow, that's really cool.
I mean, it does feel like they went all out because they got Kyle Bear, who's not exactly hard to get. I'd say he's been in a lot, but Laura Bailey has become much more of a big name over time.
Yeah.
Like she, I feel like she cost money. They got her for Chun-Li.
QB no Yoko Gaming in the chat points out that not only is there the comic origin, but they say, just FYI, Capcom collaborated with a mobile game a couple of years back with these exact characters.
Yep.
I was not aware of that, so interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. Ryu appeared as a Power Ranger in a Power Rangers mobile game as well. And real quick for those asking, Jared Edinger in the chat asked if this DLC is free. I think it's $12.50, which, I mean, $6, $7 for a character isn't that bad, especially.
Yeah, it's for both. It's for both fighters.
Yeah, exactly.
It says the pack will include both fighters and exclusive skins to be revealed at a later date. They'll also be sold separately for $6 each.
Yeah, that's to me that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, that's not bad. That seems pretty standard.
In response to my saying I'm not a big Power Rangers guy, Skull Kid Tiger says, "Wait, Ash, what about the Power Ranger and TMNT live action crossover?" This is my first time hearing about that, and
wait,
I may have to make an exception.
Ash,
I might have to make an exception for this, man.
So no. This is the continuity that was the next mutation, the one with Venus.
Oh, it is.
And that's when they crossed over with Power Rangers in space. I remember this episode from a kid. It sucks.
Okay, maybe I need to check it out.
Well, this version of TMNT is not great either, but it's just...
Well, New Mutation's just a total... just dumpster fire. Like with that whole show, it's just
just bring that dumpster fire over there. I think the TMNT steals their spaceship, the Power Ranger spaceship or something like that. I forget, but
wow, sure,
sure, why not? Cool,
great. Yeah, there are other people in the chat now saying it's not a great crossover, so maybe I should check it out ironically, but not because I'm.
I mean, that is straight down.
I'm just waiting for you to actually like it and be like, oh crap.
Right. Yeah.
Damn it, I have terrible taste.
Well, we knew that.
Ouch, man. First, Derek throws Kyle Hebert under the bus, and then me.
I like Kyle Hebert. Kyle Hebert has been around for a while. I'm just saying that Laura Bailey isn't she SAG?
I believe so. I don't actually know.
I'm pretty sure she's SAG, and I'm pretty sure he's not.
Well, you're just digging yourself deeper because you went immediately out of your way to defend Kyle, but me, man, you just threw me under the bus and walked away. Ouch.
That sounds about right.
I'm
I remember the trash talk you were dealing out in Smash. So
it's true. I can't defend myself against that. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to our next news story, which is about a really cool indie game that has popped up on Kickstarter. And that game, and this was actually posted in our Discord by Jenny G, and that game is Spirit Swap, lo-fi beats to match 3-2, which combines rhythm gaming with Panel de Pon, man, with Tetris Attack, my favorite puzzle game ever. And it just kind of wraps it all in lo-fi music in this really cool art style. And I haven't donated to a Kickstarter, I don't think, since Mighty Number 9, and I was kind of scared off of it. For good reason, right? But I might have to donate to this because, at least I'm going to check out the demo first because there is a demo for both PC and Mac, and I haven't.
Very well animated. Yet. Very well animated.
It is, right? And I love the art style.
The music is incredible too.
Yeah, I've always loved lo-fi music.
And dude, lo-fi is my jam right now. So we're
but yeah, the Kickstarter just went live yesterday, April 13th.
And it's doing very well. It's already at 71,000 of the 75,000 goal. So
they'll make it.
Last time I checked, it was 34,000. Nice.
Yeah, it definitely picked up and got talked about a lot. So they're definitely going to make it. Real quick, Doodle corrected me is that Kyle Hebert is also union, so I don't want to disparage that. But again, he's Gohan. I love him.
Yeah.
So with Spirit Swap, you wrote, it said rhythm based. Is it like you're just playing Panel de Pon and then it's like good music, or is this actually like you get points for doing it to the rhythm?
I think there is a rhythm based element to the game.
Oh yeah, I see it. Matched to the beat. Well,
yeah.
Actually, no. Is it?
I love the idea of this. They have 8-player Panel de Pon on here where everybody's working off the same screen, and
that's cool.
That's an interesting mode.
I want this on Switch. Of course I do, right? Because it's essentially Panel de Pon, and I would love to. I don't play really games on PC in general, so I hope that whatever. I haven't really looked too far into the backer tiers and goals and such, but I do hope that this game does well enough to be released on at least Switch, if not consoles in general.
I feel like Truant Pixel has put something out on Switch before.
I don't see any plans for the Switch in the Kickstarter yet, but I mean,
that's an easy future goal.
Yeah, exactly.
What's really cool about this too is that the developer Soft Not Weak LLC is described as a queer, person of color majority game co-op focused on making games that look like us and hopefully like you too. And one of the bullet points is queer and diverse joy. Much like the cast of Spirit Swap, our team is also queer, black, and/or people of color, and it's well past time we see ourselves experiencing happiness in media. I love that. And I love that
there's a lot of
wearing that on its
they pronouns in this, which is cool.
Yep,
like that really
cool.
beefy dude is a they he.
Yep.
Also a Cancer for those curious.
Yeah, you got zodiac signs. But yeah, I love the vibe of this, the character designs, and of course it's again Panel de Pon with a rhythm element, which
literally had me
like
at lo-fi Panel de Pon. That's all.
Yeah.
Yep.
They had me there.
Yeah, so I might this might be my first Kickstarter I pledged to since Mighty Number 9, which is, if anything can get me back to Kickstarter after the horror that was that game and how it turned out, then more power to this game.
Man,
I wish them the best.
That was one of the games where I was least
man,
excited to get a review copy. I was like, I have to cover this game now. What did I sign up for? Oh God.
Yeah.
They actually have on their Kickstarter page. They actually have 2 songs that are going to be in the game already.
Nice.
The theme and something called Sugar Plum.
Okay, I need to spend a little time really digging into this Kickstarter page.
Yeah, for
Clearly,
sure.
I need to play the demo. But yeah, this is something I'm really interested in. It sounds like we all are. So, hey, who knows? Maybe when this game does come out and it does eventually come to consoles, hopefully we'll cover it here on GVG.
Let's see what happens.
So, yeah.
I wish them the best.
Indeed. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to our next news story, which is some unfortunate Capcom-related news. And I say unfortunate, but it's really just, not that big a deal. But the Capcom Store is closing very soon, and the last date to place an order is May 1st. So if you have your eyes on anything at the Capcom Store and you've been eyeing things, now's the time to buy them because you're not going to be able to much longer.
How long has this store been open for? Has this been around a long time?
It's been several years.
Yeah, it feels like
Yeah,
I feel
at
like
least several years.
I know that I purchased a game from here before, and I want to say it was an iteration of Street Fighter 4. So it has to have been around a long time.
I mean, they have this whole reward system apparently where you can get art books like for Darkstalkers and
that's so cool.
Capcom Fighting Tribute. Like it feels like it's definitely a thing that's been around for a while, but they didn't really say why they're closing. It's very odd.
Yeah, I maybe they're just not doing a lot of business anymore. Maybe people are procuring Capcom-related goods through other storefronts that are not Capcom.
Well, I didn't even know it existed. So that's probably part of the problem, is people probably just didn't know it was even around, or if they did, were like, yeah, well, I could pay the normal price on Capcom Store, or I could just pay it on the PlayStation Store where I already have a card and an account.
Yeah, I feel like the Capcom Store is a vestige of almost like the pre-Amazon era of shopping.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
For sure.
It's like, I never think, man, I would love to go directly to Capcom, buy this game for the same price I'd get it for at Amazon, and pay shipping. What a deal.
Yeah,
I mean, and the same applies to even, like a company like Nintendo. I can't remember the last time I used the Nintendo Store to buy a Nintendo product.
Hold on.
Unless it's like one that it's only offered there, like extra
Yeah, I was
Switch
about to say, one, it's unfair for us as Americans to talk shit on the Nintendo Store because we have objectively the worst one. Like Japan and Europe both have a way superior store. Like in Japan, you can order a custom friggin' Switch, with whatever Joy-Con combination you want. Yeah, you could just go on their website and say, I want a black Switch with a dark blue left Joy-Con and a bright pink right Joy-Con, and they'll bundle it up and ship it to you for no additional cost. It is.
It's because America's too darn big.
It really
is. Too darn big.
It is. But the other thing is, 90% of what we have on the American store is just like licensed merch, like low tier licensed merch, and then if you need like a replacement case because you lost one of your game cases.
Do remember I bought like, because they have some like retro stuff, almost like parts, so it's like you can buy the back for a Wii remote.
Yeah.
So like if one day I like, oh crap, I lost one, I can just order an actual one. But that's like, I mean, it's not as cool as a freaking custom Switch or things like that.
Yeah.
So I'm looking through the store just to see what they have, like what kind of things we can look for, and it's maybe this is why it's going out, because there is not a lot in this store.
I've been searching the whole thing.
They've probably been phasing it out for a while.
It might be a thing.
There's so many zero products in this category pages.
How funny would it be if on the last day of April they posted one copy of Mega Man Legends 3?
Sigh.
I see you're well into the chaos side of ordering chaos today, Steve. That would be awful, but also amazing in its own. I mean, at least as long as somebody who was willing to dump it got a hold of it, okay, I'm fine with that. Yeah. Goron Amber points out that the way that image is cropped about on Twitter for the store closure makes Mega Man's smile look really ominous, and I agree. It makes it look like Mega Man's almost responsible for it. He's like, I'm gonna get this store shut down.
Did this.
Cancel me, will you?
He saw a bad Mega Man Volnut, and he's like, nope, I'll one-up you. I'm going to take down the whole damn Capcom store.
Yeah. Joseph Rutkin points out that the Square Enix store is nice, and it is. I've actually have purchased a couple of collector's editions over the years from the Square Enix store. The only problem with the Square Enix store is kind of the same problem that exists with Square Enix themselves, and that is that you're basically forced to pay the Square Enix tax on unless they have a sale. They do run sales seasonally, but generally you're going to be paying a lot of money for almost anything you buy on that store, just because Square upcharges for everything.
Yep.
So,
the way it is.
It is indeed. All right. Well, let's go ahead and head on to our next news story. And speaking of Square, actually, this is perfect.
Good segue.
A lot of new. Yeah, I've got a lot. It was intentional,
right?
Remake.
Totally
intentional. Yes. So this was posted in our server by Jess, and there's a lot to kind of unpack here. But Square Enix has revealed a ton of new details on the gameplay and characters and voice cast of FF7 Remake Intergrade's Yuffie episode, which is officially titled FF7 Remake Intermission, which with, of course, only the inter part of that word in capital, or in caps, because this is Square Enix, right? So, yeah, there's a lot to talk about here. I'm just as hype about this now as I was when it was revealed during the State of Play.
What I like here is we're getting some breakdown on how she works. Like you press a square button to strike enemies with Yuffie's throwing star, and you hold it to continue attacking while putting distance between you and your foe. It'll automatically return to Yuffie after a certain amount of time, but you can also retrieve it sooner by pressing triangle. Makes for some interesting gameplay there. You can also just hurl it at the enemy with the triangle. Let's see. The ninjutsu attacks initially deal non-elemental damage, but the ability Elemental Ninjutsu can change the attacks affinity to fire, ice, lightning, or wind, making it easier to exploit enemy weaknesses.
There's someone named Billy Bob?
There is.
Yes, and there's a new character named Billy Bob.
Billy Bob?
Billy Bob has a skill that I can respect. I can get behind this. He can drink as much as he wants and not get drunk because his job is to collect intel from people at bars. I respect that skill. And I'm pretty sure Steve does too.
You know, there's a certain joy of being drunk though, man. Like,
I mean, that's true. That's true.
I don't know. I feel like it would be one of those things that I gained a enviable power, but at what cost? I lost a shred of my humanity.
At what cost?
That's true.
Like the Saitama of drinking.
Good point. Can I say, I actually love that the game is called Final Fantasy VII Intermission, because it perfectly describes what this game is to someone like me who doesn't. I didn't play Final Fantasy VII Remake. I watched someone play it. I know. I'm ashamed of myself because I wanted to play I need to fix it. I bought the original game so I could PS5 at least play the original and then play the remake. Anyway, coming in from an outsider's perspective, not knowing what this was, is it like a semi-sequel? Is it like an expanded thing? What is it? The fact that it's called Intermission makes me like instantly know, oh, this is This is like a side story kind of thing that will go with the game until we get the new thing. I think it's a genius name. I don't know if anyone had a problem with it, but I think it's great.
The only issue I have with it, and I agree it's a good name, the only issue I have is that I was already mistakenly calling Intergrade Intermission because Intergrade's such a weird word.
Yeah.
So, like, now we actually do have episode Intermission, which is part of Remake Intergrade. And so it's, it's the usual Square naming shenanigans.
Yeah.
But I agree, it is nice that
it's not as
Yuffie
bad as
episode
others.
does have this name. No, it's not as bad as some other Square games. And it is nice that this Yuffie episode is officially titled this now, because I've seen quite a bit of confusion online over the past few weeks, wondering, like, hey, is this part 2? Is this a prologue to part 2? What is this?
Yeah.
Now this, as you said, Andrew, definitively positions it as an interquel, as an intermission, as you said.
Very good. It's very good.
So the voice actress for Yuffie is Susie Young, who I've not actually heard any of the stuff. I'm looking at her sort of page right now. I've not watched Attack on Titan, but for those fans, she plays Laura Tiber. She was in Fire Force as somebody named Gold. She's in Jujutsu Kaisen, which I know has gotten really big lately, as Sumiki Fushiguro, but I don't know these characters.
I'm not familiar with any of them.
Know everything about Attack on Titan, and I don't know anything about that. I've read the entire manga from start to finish, and I have no idea who that character is.
Oh my gosh.
But maybe that's a good thing. You get into Final Fantasy, you got these new people that you might not already recognize.
It does feel like they're
else.
going a lot of new talent, which is always
and
pretty,
I
pretty
loved
cool.
the voice act. I am the first person to say that, like, I would rather listen to the Japanese voice acting than some other group of doing it in English that's a dub. But this game, Final Fantasy VII Remake, did a fantastic job with the dub.
It did.
Oh, absolutely.
So I have faith in them.
And I don't recognize any of these names really, but one I'm really looking forward to hearing is Damon Mills, who's going to be playing Vice the Immaculate. And I just want to know what they're going to do with this wacky character from Dirge of Cerberus.
Well,
and they even now go all in and describe Vice as the sadistic ruler of Shinra's top secret underground research center, Deep Ground, which they said the word Deep Ground. There it is.
There it is.
This is a thing that is happening, and I'm scared,
Steve will
but
like
I'm also
this.
interested.
So, so Damon Mills, one of the things Steve would know him from, kind of, is he is sort of the replacement Frieza in Super. You know how Chris Ayers had his whole throat trouble? He's who plays Frieza when he's not able to, and it's so hard to tell the difference.
I was going to say, I remember when they had to bring in a replacement. I didn't know by name, but yeah, it is a very stunning likeness. Like they sound incredibly similar.
Mm-hmm.
And that Frieza voice is so distinctive. Like it would be a hard one to replicate.
His lineup of characters he's played. Holy crap! He has played so many characters.
By the way, I had to refresh my memory. I had to look up Vice the Immaculate. This guy is the most Square Enix ass character in the world. Like, let me see if I can get this in focus. Like, look at this dude, shirtless.
Cerberus didn't do a whole lot right, and which is why it's even more interesting that they actually are going all in on including Dirge of Cerberus elements and characters in Remake Story. I don't think any of us expected that. And I remember when we got the reveal, we were watching it during State of Play. I was like, shit, was that Vice? Like, am I wrong? Or was it actually Vice? And it was. I was like, holy crap, they're going there.
I feel like
nobody liked Dirge.
I almost feel like I should show off. No, I'm not putting myself through that.
Don't do that to yourself.
I feel like Nomura just was like drinking whiskey straight from the bottle at his desk, and he's like put together a cabal of the finest Final Fantasy fanfic writers. We're gonna make a new game.
Amazing.
Someone's like, I need the guy that was played by Gact, and I need Vice in here. And he's like, yeah, whatever, fuck it, I'm drunk. Let's go.
Yeah, I wonder if they ever are going to introduce a recast Genesis. Like obviously they're not going to use Gact's likeness anymore. I wonder if
I feel like it's coming.
I want them to go full bore and just get Gact's likeness again. just do it again, and maybe license some of his worst songs too. Just throw those in there. I really just want it to go off the rails at this point. I'm gonna play it and enjoy it almost certainly no matter what. But the crazier it gets, I think the more I'll be here for it.
Right.
Like, just play vanilla during an action scene or something. It'll be great.
Yeah. Derek Alatovich with a great point in the chat. How mad would you be in a world where people can be named Cloud and Sephiroth and your name is Billy Bob? Right?
So true. So true.
How pissed would you be?
Oh, Billy Bob.
Good old Billy Bob.
So one of the other cool things about episode intermission is that we're going to meet a lot more of the members of Avalanche's Central HQ. Like, as we know, Barrett's faction is a splinter group, and we hear about Central HQ a few times throughout Remake, but we never really meet too many characters from them, or from that Central HQ. So we're going to find out more about that side of the story, and I think that's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
It was really kind of interesting that they were all part of like a splinter group of Avalanche almost.
Yeah, exactly. So, and just in case you have missed out on the context thus far, Yuffie is on a mission from Wutai to steal what is apparently the most powerful materia locked up in Shinra HQ. And of course, if you know FF7 lore, there's like an ongoing war between Wutai and Midgar, or Shinra, I should say. And so this all takes place, I believe, after Cloud falls into the slums. After the
somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah, so we find out what's happening from the perspective.
Is this a new story?
Yes, this has never been told.
Got it.
This is sort of a way to get a character from later in Final Fantasy VII into the game much earlier.
Gotcha.
Sort of like, were you confused when the plate fell and all of a sudden there's a cat?
Yep.
Future party member from the main game.
So that wasn't
right.
supposed to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he wasn't there in the original. It's just they like, hey, he's here. He's around, which makes sense, but it's also a weird thing.
See, this is why I wanted to play the original first, and I still will. I swear I'll play it. I own it, and I'm going to enjoy it.
You should. I definitely don't think that you need to play the original to enjoy Remake, but I do, with the way they're going with it,
a little bit more
maximize your enjoyment of Remake
that's
if you do play the original, because you can compare and
also, if you do play the original, play or find a way to watch Crisis Core as well. That is the best part of the compilation of FF7.
Okay. I heard about Crisis Core. Aren't they also remaking Crisis Core?
They're remaking it as part of Ever Crisis, which I know is really confusing. But yes, it's one of the many parts of FF7's... Well, basically the entire timeline of FF7 is being remade as this, mobile RPG Ever Crisis, and Crisis Core is being remade as part of that.
Okay.
It's ridiculous. Square.
I'm learning so much today.
Nice.
It's one of those weird, wacky things, but they make it work.
Yeah.
Especially in 7 Remake's case, it's odd.
No, I love Final Fantasy VII from what I've seen so far. I love it.
Nice. No, it's a classic for a reason, right?
Oh, yeah.
As IGN points out, there's also a digital deluxe edition coming that is going to include a digital mini soundtrack, including a new version of Descendant of Shinobi, which of course is Yuffie's theme, as well as a mini art book including concept art and character sheets. And you also, if you pre-order Remake Intergrade, you get the bonus Cackstar weapon, which I assume is probably a Yuffie weapon. Oh yeah, it is specifically for intermission, so it's a Yuffie weapon.
Nice.
Interesting.
Cool.
Nice.
All right. Well, we got one more story to cover today, and it has to do with a movie sequel I know we are all really excited about. So let's go ahead and get that up on screen. So we don't have any hard confirmation of this, but if you take these tweets at their word, the team behind the Sonic 2 movie is going to have enjoying a lot more creative freedom for the sequel than they did for the first movie, and that the internet is apparently going to break once the first trailer for Sonic 2 is dropped. The whole internet
is going to go down on that day.
Sonic and Tails are going to break the internet. But you know what? I am here for it, and I will give them the benefit of the doubt, because the first movie was surprisingly good, and if they're really able to stretch their creative wings and go all in on the fan service for Sonic 2, that could be pretty damn cool. So I'm excited.
Real quick, this apparently comes from episode 27 of Kellen's Petty Talk Show, which is a podcast on Spotify. And they claim they had 2 writers for the movie on there, and they said the exact quote is, "The trailer for the movie is going to be insane. It's going to break the internet, guaranteed." So, I mean, the rest of it is kind of conjecture based on that quote.
Right.
But I guess it is verifiable. I haven't listened to that podcast.
There's some bullet points on here. So it's apparently going to be bigger, have more action, and feature stuff we'll really like. There was apparently one Robotnik scene that was cut due to it not contributing to the plot and being expensive, but it's so cool that they plan to use it in the third movie.
Oh man!
I'm sure they're already planning for a third movie, of course.
They are.
Of course.
Much less was cut from conception compared to movie 1. They cut some CGI characters in certain scenes due to budget for movie 1. And despite being higher in budget this time around, it won't be Detective Pikachu expensive. Paramount wisely realized that the reason the Sonic movie was more financially successful, despite Detective Pikachu making more money, was due to them avoiding dumping crazy money into it. So they're giving it more money, but not a ton of money, and apparently they're finding ways to make that budget work.
Nice. I mean, it didn't look like they were operating off of a small budget for the original to begin with. It looked like, it was really good.
Other than, pretty simple sets and whatnot.
Yeah, set design was definitely simple, but I'll be interested to see where they go with this. I mean, if you're talking about an internet-breaking trailer, I expect to see Supersonic, Knuckles, Metal Sonic, something weird, like out of straight out of the video games. But
the budget for the first movie was $81 million.
Man, what was the budget for Detective Pikachu, I wonder? Let me see here.
$300 million.
5 bazillion.
I think it was quite a bit more, if I remember correctly.
$150 million.
Damn.
About twice as much, almost.
Twice as much, yeah.
And it only made $100 million more than the Sonic movie. So yeah,
wow.
They made more profit.
Yeah.
In the end.
Yep.
By keeping costs down, and that makes sense. They wanted to do the same for Sonic 2. And I mean, look, I thought Sonic 1 was a great looking movie. I didn't feel like I was ever watching anything that had corners cut in production, that looked cheap. I thought it looked great. The CG was cool. The effects are great. So, if they're going to keep it at that production cost, I don't really see a problem with that, or even anywhere around that.
They'll have more time to not redesign Sonic.
Yeah.
Right.
They already have it set.
Yeah. I would love it if they just introduced like a new character like Tails or Knuckles, and for some reason he just followed the design template of the original Sonic from the movie.
Oh god,
it's just absolute
works
monstrosity.
For him, right? It's fine. Knuckles is very distressing to look at.
Knuckles is just an actual human with it's been painted.
It's interesting they're hyping up the trailer already when they only been in pre-production production for maybe 2 months now at most.
Right.
Wow.
Like, I feel like we're still a ways off from actually even getting a trailer for this thing.
Yeah.
Because is it coming out next year?
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah, it is next year.
Okay, so
that's the thing. I'm keeping my expectations low because when you're making something like this, you're gonna be excited. You're gonna be like, oh man, everyone's gonna love this. And I'm sure they thought the same thing about the first trailer that released.
Oh, it broke the internet.
Mm-hmm.
It did break the internet.
It did.
Maybe that's what they're meaning.
Imagine if we got Knuckles designed after the old Sonic movie art style, but it's the Boom version of Knuckles. So it's like double extra awful.
Oh my
extra bad.
Barrel-chested, oddly separated eyes. Very unsettling teeth.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Nightmare fuel Knuckles.
There's so many Godslayer Knuckles.
Gods. Oh man, I have a great story to relay on the post show. It is definitely not appropriate for this portion of the program, but
okay. Well, I am excited. Well, then we should go ahead and get to that post show pretty soon. Before we do, I'd want to go back to our previous story about FF7 Remake Intermission's crazy naming schema for a second, and point out that Seesaw24 floated a game title that I really want to see become real someday, and that is Final Fantasy VII Remake Intermission 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue, featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series and Knuckles with new funky mode. I love it. I want that to be a thing.
Funky mode. Let's go.
Yeah.
Cloud
I
and
want
Funky
that
Kong
to be a real thing. Yeah.
Riding bikes.
Cloud and Funky, yeah. And Dante.
Dante's just there.
Yeah. All right.
My God.
Well, I think that is a perfect note to go ahead and wrap up this episode on. But before we get too far into the outro, as always, Andrew, why don't you tell our awesome audience where they can find you, man?
You can find me mostly on Twitch. I'm a YouTuber, and I swear I'm making a video. It's been a hot minute, but it's only because the new video that I'm doing on Battle for Bikini Bottom is going to be incredible. It's going to be an hour-and-a-half video documenting never-before seen info straight from the developers, and it's going to be good. That'll be releasing
nice
soon.
Nice.
It'll happen. But most of the time, I stream on Twitch Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays in about 20 minutes. But stay here for the post show. This is important. Don't come to me.
Yes.
Don't come to me on twitch.tv/beta64. No, but really, guys, thank you for having me here. This is so much fun.
Thank you.
Always great having you on.
Yeah, you're welcome back anytime. Of course, we love having you on, man, and thank you for being here and spending your time with us.
Of course. It's always good.
Before we sign off, I do want to make a quick, exciting announcement, and that is that our merch store is officially open. We're still working out a few kinks, but if you scroll down right now, either in our live audience or if you're watching the VOD version, you will see that you can buy Good Vibes Gaming merchandise. Currently, we have a t-shirt and a face mask available. However, for some reason, when you click through, the currency is in Australian dollars, so we're not quite sure what's going on yet, but we're working out the kinks. What?
Oh, I just said, the internet.
It's so weird, right? So we're still working out some kinks, but we have officially launched our merch. There's going to be more in the future. So if you're interested in that, definitely click through and check out what we have on offer. But with that said, we are at the end of the episode. So as always, we do have to give special thanks to all of our patrons at the producer tier and above for helping to make today's News Tonight happen. Because without you, it would not be happening, and we wouldn't be here 3 days a week having such an awesome time with our live audience and hanging out with each other and talking about gaming news. So thank you so much for your support. In addition, an especially massive thank you to our patrons at the executive producer tier and above. And those awesome folks are Jared Edinger, Brandon Bovia, Rob Arman X, Dan Entwistle, Z Patty, Hyrule Hermit, Sky Blue Flames, Adam O'Sullivan, Richard Herrera, Michael Phone, Floating Mew, Aiko Carroll, Christopher, The D-Pad, Vesmio, Waffle King, Nick Waterman, Kitty Kong Fax, Angel Martinez, Vedran Hotik, Makalau, John, Joshua Hunter, Evernight Studio, Benny Yao, Azran127, Kinrule09, Jake Pelka, Geller, Joseph Rutkin, Titus Malvolio, Charlie Bird, Lucky Wonderfish, Top Dog 23100, Young Ben Kenobi, Douglas Chomix, Andrew Medeiros, Aram M, Patrick Harrison, Becca, Rocks the Cat, Fizzywig Hoyd, Flaming Highwayman, Sean Garrett, The Legend of Groose, Eddie B, right? Eddie B, Kai Ed, Kit Fisto, West Egg, Master Lynx, Sean Davis, Deaneth, Kota, Michael McCaw, Matthew Wong, Ashish Joshi, Goron Amber, Straight Lace, Hoobie, Wolf X Blake and Moon Macarons, Kane, Captain Finlandia, 60 Minutes and 60 Seconds, The Game Orb, Dano the Artist, Synchro Lord, Brainchild, Rosa Pardo Bowling,
Hi, Mom.
Scuff 196, Skull Kid Tiger, AJB Cool, Jason Uloa, Jaden Buck, Phantom Project, Wheezy Penguin, and Anthony Wilson Jr. Thank you all so much for your incredible support of the channel and our show. Remember, you too can become a patron over at patreon.com/gbgaming, where you can check out a bunch of different tiers you can support us at, including our most popular tier, which is our $5 live audience tier, which lets you interact with us and our special guests throughout each episode of Today's News Tonight. But whether you support us on Patreon or not, or you just drop a like and subscribe here on YouTube, we love you all the same. We couldn't be more thankful for your support. And that's it. So we'll see you next time for Today's News Tonight on Friday. And until then, good night and good vibes, everybody. Bye.
Yay.
Bye,
everyone.
Bye.
Recordings have stopped.
It's clicking stop.